Morning, everybody. Okay, screeners and meaners, this is just the transformation for TransFormMission disorder, aka Wildrider. That's right, CiiC transformation. All right, so first thing we want to do is this. All right, we're gonna look at this, turn this over, and we are going to pull it to the side here, or bring it to the on top of the back of the rear. Look in this position. All right, and the first thing it says to do is this. It says to pull out these wheels, which I not sure if I'm doing this right. Oh, I'm sorry. First thing it says to do is this. Pull out the weapon. There. Pull that. You can already transform this. So it's just be kind of easy. Put that to the side there. And what we're going to do is actually, did I do something wrong? I did. I had to revert back to the manual and stuff. This is the only one I really need a manual for. Anyways, pull it to the side here. And if anybody remember the mass toys back in the day, just kind of resembles a little bit. Remember how the back was with the wheels like kind of like spin around this, whatever. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, so here we go. So we're going to pull this out to the side here. Make sure that's loose and free. Sorry, I do have to resort back to that thing because this is the first one I got, and actually I haven't transformed this in I don't know how long, but you're going to pull that out and pull this back here. All right. In that meantime, we're going to actually, I've been trying to resort back to the manual because there's a lot of things that's kind of confusing to me, and I've gone ahead and done some other stuff before I've done the other ones, but we're just going to keep this moving. It does say to do this next and pull this up, and he's kind of similar to breakdown in his transformation. So you know, that's it. I mean, it's, you know, it's whatever, but as you can see, this is extremely loose back there, but we're going to let that go. It's out the way and stuff here. Roll bars in the section areas at the front. Anyways, and we're going to come around here and pull this down and out. All right, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I'm sorry. The doors have to be released. There we go. And now we're going to come down and pull the legs out. And this transformation for this is a little bit more easier than the rest, probably just because the pieces just kind of came out. And I don't know if there's something, you know, how to be. I believe this is part of few that, oh my goodness, it came off. Is that good or bad? Oh, let me see. As long as this thing goes back on, that's the only thing I'm worried about. And for those that are watching this stuff, I've had these for a while, and I have done transformations on them. So these are not something that, you know, it just kind of came out of nowhere. This looks like this has to be repaired with a screwdriver, as you guys can see in there. Okay, screeners and meaners, I was able to get this back on due to the simple fact that, there's a little screw inside here. And if you guys end up experiencing the same, I guess I'll go ahead and show you this, where you see that in there, that little piece there, that's the little screw. It comes on a little piece here. And what happens is you got to make sure it sits right on the top of this. So this piece here goes directly here. And if you guys are experiencing the same, you will screw it back on like so. Oh, and it's fixed. Oh, check that out. Anyways, screeners, actually just found a little screwdriver right quick to actually put that on there, so that works, and that works pretty well. Anyways, we're gonna I put this back piece on here to try to actually get this to go and fit. To actually put it on so I can make sure it's sturdy into place. I won't break anything else. Anyways, back to what we were doing before. These are going to be out, and we're going to actually just try to pick up where we left off. So if you can, guys, please just bear with me. I believe we start off, we had the arms open, we had this around, and we had this twist like so. So with that being said, once you're going to bring this back to the here, and you're going to just push these in, and if I'm not mistaken, this comes down and pull front, and I think it goes over the wheels, supposed to go over the wheels if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to collapse it down enough so it can make the backpack's not that hefty, but I'm thinking I'm just going to come down and just leave it like so and let the wheels just kind of just grant and bear what it does on that point and stuff, because it has there. Okay, just to have them sit there so you can see those. So I should just get that out of the way. I'm trying to keep an eye on this on the screw, so forgive me, it's a little different than what you see from the instruction manual from everyone else. This is how I'm doing it, just because, again, I've ran into other pieces. If you see my other videos that I've broken the pieces off. But let's keep this moving. All right, I'm going to separate this in the back. I'm going to extend these legs out like so once we get them down. So we'll turn to the front. So we're going to pull this down and let this kind of slide. And it's kind of weird how this is, because these pop down from there. And reason why I'm saying it's weird is because it's in the inner thigh. And usually what they would do is have them have a different color for the inner thigh and on the side there. But just to make sure that it's there, it's just all one solid piece, so it kind of looks like it's supposed to be there. And if you've been a Hasbro, they at least try to make something a little different, like so. All right, so once the inner thigh is open, you pull this down like I just did, and you go to the other side, you pull this down as well too, since it comes out of the slots. If just put it there and stuff, okay, there, and you're gonna pull them down because this point here is on a hinge. So you see that clearness in there, or the clear, or the clearance. You're putting them down like so. Bring it down as well over here on the other side, which it already is, and you're going to have it here. Have his foot here. I'm sorry, put his have his back of his leg, if I'm not mistaken, there, and then we're going to turn his back to the front. Okay. Now what we're going to do is this. We're going to bring these down. These are going to come out. Same thing here. Since we're back here, and we're just going to make like a little staging area, and the feet are going to slide around. So that's what these are here. Okay, and they come out like so. Sorry, put these behind here like so, and to the side. And those are both the feet. And I'm showing them together because I'm just trying to save time, because I am running low on the time. All right, so it's going to look kind of like this, and it looks like a complete mess. We'll back them up some so we get them going on. And now we're going to put these in and put them foot-ins for the knees. All right, do that for the same thing on the other side, you know, all together and stuff. And I'm trying to be really careful with this screeners and meters, because I just don't want to break anything else like I've already done. All right, I'm gonna bring this back down like it was before. Swing the foot around to the front and let it slide. Do the same thing over here like so. Bring them down, let it collapse, and it should look something like this. All right, now we're going to bring the back of the wheels to the front, or the back, or however they set, but they're going to sit in these little ports pegs in the back. So you see it there. They're going to sit right there. It's going to collapse down, and it's going to collapse on the knee. And I think there's something weird about this. I think this guy just pushes forward. Is it? Okay, screeners, if you guys can see in there, you're going to see right here this piece here, which is the roof. The back of the roof, and it's so slide in there. You want to try to get in there as far as you can as possible. I see what I was doing wrong, and I see that I already kind of got it over here, and I don't necessarily know why it was kind of doing what it was doing and stuff. It just had this other thing and stuff, and this camera's not focusing for me. Let me back up a little bit. There we go. And you're just want to try to clear this bar here with that top, if you can see what that peg is for the back of the window, so it can just set on there. And then at that point in time, that should give you enough room that you need to actually put it in there. And I'm sorry, screeners and meters, for stumbling through it. It's just as this is probably one of my most difficult transformation for it. The other one seemed like a breeze when it's compared to this, but compared to disorder. This is disorder, right? Or this is disorder? This is disorder. Sorry, screeners and meters. Sorry. Yes, this is disorder. Okay. Anyways, all right. We're going to keep this moving. Muscle through this as much as we can as possible. We're going to put these legs here, or the back shins, or front, or however you want to put them or make them and stuff, and put them here. As they set there, they're going to nuzzle. And this is a little peg here that's going to go right in here. All right. And then it's going to be like so. And the weird transformation thing part that got me is that I remember the legs being so, or the feet and the legs being such a pain, but that's how it's going to pretty much sit. But all the pieces are held together just by this, and everything else is just held on by friction. And I'm not a big fan of holding things on by friction with it being the Transformers, because at the while it just tends to lose and fall, or whatever deal may be. But that's it. But hopefully the complexity of the feet will help this figure stand up pretty well over time, it being on my shelf and being in combined motor. Anyways, we're going to keep this moving. We're going to pull this down like so. I'm going to pull this out the way so we can already see how the feet start to look, even though I should have been done last. But we're going to pull this over, pull this back, and make this clear, like kind of the back of the undercarriage there in the back. And then we're going to come over and just put this clip right here till it pushes in place, but it has to make sure it has enough room for it to just kind of hold on to there. So that's it. All right, so we're gonna have to stand them up and start to make a little bit more shape now. All right, and then we are going to move this around and go and twist his body around. That's what we're gonna do. Sorry about that. Anyways, move this up, slide this up a little bit. Yeah, so I just twist his body around there and put it here, and that's it. Now, the cool part about him is this. You pull his arms out to the side, and then it exposes the part here. Not only the mechanism for his the combiner mode, if I'm not mistaken, right? And it exposes. Let's see, put this little. It comes up. Air. His head, and I'm sorry, not the mechanism, but the the main portion is here for the mechanism for his feet, for the leg, because it ends up being like the joint section area. But the mechanism, this exposes his head to come up, so I thought that was pretty much a nice touch because it still has that same like look to it as far as having like the mechanism. And he's starting to take shape here, and we're gonna keep going and stuff and all this, and we're going to extend his arms out as soon as we get that separated, and then. There, and then we'll turn this around like so, so you can give him some bend in his elbows. Move it to the side, do the same thing over here. Just connect the door from that little peg there and that little port. And if you can't see that, I'm gonna show you that in just a second. And I know I'm skipping over it, just so I'm trying to be careful because I do not want to break any more pieces. So this port here was inside the arm, and that was here. That's that part. You want to make sure you keep that separate from there. All right, come to the back here, put the doors down together. Put it right under there. It looks like he has wings. And that's what I think I like most about this order, Wildrider. Is that's pretty cool. And I like the empty part of the chest. Anytime that you can actually, take something or just put something in there and stuff, or the matrix, or, maybe one of the, seeds or anything, or a dark spark shard if you can find one small enough. A lot of hobbies online that have those. Anyways, this does move up and down just a little bit. So what you're going to do is collapse this as much as you can. I don't think it really pegs into anything. And then this just comes around like so and bends up there. Now, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, these come in. Yes, they do. Just how I was on breakdown. Okay. So, and yeah. So, and I appreciate a backpack. Also want to appreciate a backpack when somebody can stand or a figure can stand. But this does have its complications, as you have already seen. But I mean, that's pretty much about it. Yes, so screeners and meaners, this was the transformation for TFM Disorder. And we're going to put him back here and give him some size-by-size comparison. Real quick, as you can guys see in the background, this is oversized Megatron. Someone asked me this from another site, Instagram if I'm not mistaken, or maybe Viva, or maybe Rumble, I'm not mistaken. This is oversized leader class Megatron, and this is another oversized knockoff. That's a knockoff as well too. This is oversized knockoff Optimus Prime, and this is the Nemesis version of it. This actually was out before the movie came, but this is based on in Age of Extinction, before it came out with the Last Night. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, a size by comparison with them, and we're gonna bring him back to the front, put him here, and then we're gonna bring in Voyager class Bumblebee. This is another knockoff. Everything. So I mean, again, it's a knockoff because it's detailed after a certain one, and this is of course the own creation of the third party being made off. So we're going to bring in knockoff, oversized. This is also oversized deluxe Bumblebee. Crosshairs, one of my favorites. I'm just putting them in there so you can see different size, and also for you to get an idea of the deluxe size. This is the Last Night. I'm sorry, Age of Extinction, aka the Last Night Bumblebee Deluxe. So just so you have the idea of the Voyager size compared to the rest. And we're also going to toss in the Onslaught right quick. All right. Onslaught from the Combiner Wars. And that is the, if I'm not mistaken, this is the, I don't know, just different coloration. I don't know if it's a zombie mode or they just happen to just decide to, do this with the mold or whatever. Just come back. So you see how the height comparison scale on that and stuff. And that's just pretty much it. And I do like how they all look together. I do go for the larger size Voyager and upsize scales because they do tend to fit better with, we're going to bring in Enzio from Assassins or AS Mega Blocks. And to me, that fits better with human scale. I think that really does. I mean, it just does. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here so you can get like a closer look of seeing how they all look together. And that is a dangerous group of looking Transformers. It really is. All of them. Okay, screeners and meaners, this was just the transformation for the TransFormMission disorder, aka Wildrider. Thanks for the watch, and that's pretty much about it. So we're going to keep this thing moving, and we're going to be on to the next.